getting tired of living through historical events now, but let's seriously talk about the implications of the fucking Trump assassination attempt. Um, this is bad for like too many reasons to list. Okay, so first off, the last time something like this happened, the devil himself won the presidency by winning like 49 out of 50 states. Him being Ronald Reagan, right? Unfortunately, I don't think that things are going to escalate to that level for Trump, but I think that any chance that Democrats had of winning an election just went out the window entirely. I think that the goodwill that Trump is going to try to garner through all of this is going to make him an insufferable candidate. I think he's going to play up the martyr card to a level that we haven't seen coming. And I also think that this has really, really dark implications for what happens when he does take power. But I'll get to that in a bit. Joe Biden has no possible response to this. Where this gets scary is that with someone making a formal attempt on Trump's life, the way that Trump supporters move, I would not rule it out that Biden is on the table too. I think that a lot of people, whether you want to believe that it's staged or not, first off, it objectively wasn't. People like really died. Like the shooter is dead, and also a bystander was dead, and I think there are injuries as well. But even if you want to play that card and you're like, it's WWE shit, right? Even if you're right, think of the amount of people that think that WWE is still real. And I love the WWE. And there is a subsection of people who like really believe that John Cena beat the Nexus 5-on-1 and like hard bodied them and saved the WWE. Think about what that kind of person will do or is mentally preparing to do in response to learning that Trump has been seriously injured. That's dark. Like, it doesn't take much. Biden is already very old, and I'm very worried that, like, now that real political violence is on the table, I understand the side that is most likely to levy that political violence at a higher frequency. So I fear not only for Biden, I fear for anyone that the MAGA sector now kind of brands as an enemy. As for what Trump will do with the power, right? I think that the most immediate thing is that with political violence on the table, Trump is going to take a lot of actions that he's going to justify once he does get power to kind of limit our rights as I've already spoken a lot about Trump kind of moving to eliminate dissent, and I think that this is kind of the nail in the coffin for like, oh, Trump is done playing games. Like, he is going to put things on the books in order to make it illegal to move against him. And I think that's on an almost certainty. I think that a lot of the freedoms that we understand and have right now are going to be things of the past. I think that things like net neutrality and internet security are all going to be gone. And I think he's going to use this and the very clear trail that this shooter left behind, more than likely. He's going to use these things as justification to pass what I can only describe as like the Patriot Act on steroids. And this all happened in a week where Project 2025 kind of got the wind knocked out of it by the gay furry hackers or whatever like that. All of that amounts to nothing now, because with this, Trump now is going to have a lot of the political power and goodwill to pass whatever he wants. So a lot of the people who were worried about Project 2025 kind of fizzling out, and, you know, people who were happy about that, like me, that's not the case anymore. Like, anything is on the table at this point, and Project 2025 is like the law of the land should Trump gain power. Now, what can Biden do in response to this? Nothing is the best answer I could give you. There's no... First off, it's so hard already. Like, there wasn't exactly a path forward for Biden and them. And now, it is way, way worse. Biden was already not a love candidate. He was doing a bad job, you know, making the policy argument. And the crux of their argument was always, I'm not as bad as that guy. But when the guy that you're saying that you're not as bad as just got shot at, and you still continue to demonize him because they're not going to change the playbook from here, not in any meaningful way. When they still move to demonize someone who had an assassination attempt against them, I think it's going to paint them in a really poor light, and they are going to do worse than they can imagine. So as for game plan, I think they're fucked. I don't think that there's any one good strategy outside of making the policy argument to such an insane degree, but they've had no interest in doing that for the past like 8 months. So what do I realistically think that they can do? Nothing, because I don't think that anyone that's in the rooms that makes decisions about this will do the right thing. What they could do is they could double and triple and quadruple down on the policy accomplishments of the Biden administration, but they're not going to do that because they don't know what that is. They don't care to talk about that, and yeah, it's gonna be a shit show. So if there was ever a moment where I think that Trump was going to seal the presidency, I think it's today. So much shit would have to go wrong between now and the time that we all vote. Like, we would need like 4 or 5 different, like, I am tired of living through history events in order to like quash whatever this was, because a lot of the imagery that came out about it is incredibly powerful, even if it is a little suspect. But yeah, that is probably the end of any peaceful politics that we are ever going to have. There's always going to be the undercurrent of like, oh, and our political opponents could just fire at us, and some of them might not miss. So that's comfortable.